Hi there, everyone. Welcome to episode 589 of the Mike from Maine Show, the place where we do daily interviews with successful online entrepreneurs. This is your host, Mike Thomas, and today on the show, we have Chris Guthrie on, and we're going to be talking about how he's been able to make over $100,000 in sales over the last 7 months by selling physical products on Amazon. In this interview, we're going to talk about exactly how he's doing it, how he's finding products, how he's doing the entire process, and we're going to be taking a look at a tool that's going to make it a lot easier to find profitable niches. Now, also at the end of the interview, I want you to take a look below on MikeFromMaine.com. You're going to find a more detailed demo of the other pieces of software involved in this and his income proof in a short video. Let's get into it. Here's Chris. We are here today with Chris Guthrie. Chris, welcome back to the show.
Thanks, Mike. Glad to be back.
Chris has been on the show multiple times before, and today I'm especially excited. Chris, you've done over $100,000 selling physical products on Amazon in around 7 months' time. Now, I know this is a part-time thing for you, which is one of the amazing things about it. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you've been doing this. I'm really interested.
Yeah, so I'll just briefly cover. I kind of just keep coming back to Amazon. It's really what it comes down to. Amazon affiliate program is how I was able to leave my day job like half a decade ago now, just from Amazon review websites and stuff. And so I've made, done well over $1 million in sales, referred sales as an affiliate. Mm-hmm. And then it wasn't until last year that I got an email from someone that was doing really well, and I could tell that they didn't know that much about internet business stuff. And I was like, I've been doing this for so long, and this guy's quite frankly making more money than me. I got to listen to what he's doing. Sure. And so I got into it as well. And frankly, how we talked about this a little bit before, but it's like one of those things. Man, I should have been doing this before, because the affiliate program, it's a percentage of it, but with selling, it's whatever your margins are, and so it's great. And yeah, like you mentioned, the 100,000 plus in sales, and then this month I think I might crack 30,000 for the first time. So it's definitely growing, and my goal before the end of the year is to do 100,000 plus per month in revenue, and to hit that before November and December, because those are kind of months like where it's cheating because there's so many people buying stuff.
For people watching, Chris, I know there might be that confusion, because whenever anyone talks about Amazon, the first thing that I think about personally is like, okay, you make a blog, you put a link to a product on the Amazon website, and you make a little bit of an affiliate commission. And this is completely different from that.
Completely different, exactly, yeah. I can briefly talk about kind of the process.
we haven't really talked about this on the show before.
Yeah, so the idea basically is we're going out and we're buying products from sometimes China, sometimes from the US. Mm-hmm. Me in particular, I buy from China. And they're basically more basic type products. I haven't really gone into any electronics type things yet. But you're basically buying them and you're private labeling them. So they're a product that they're already producing. They can make some changes to the product, some minor changes, colors, etc., whatever. And then you're putting your own label on it, and then you're creating your own company as this brand. And then when you sell on Amazon, because it's your own brand and you've created the product, then no one else can sell it. Whereas normally if you're selling on Amazon, say you're trying to sell someone else's branded product, you're going to compete against every single other seller on Amazon and to win the buy box. And so that buy box is who the sale actually goes to. And so the problem when you're doing that is that whoever's in that buy box is usually the person that has the lowest price. And so this kind of flips it. You're creating your own brand, and so you can kind of control the pricing and the margins because you're the only one that can sell it. So that's how you can get margins like 40%, which is what I'm getting about roughly now. Whereas if you're buying and reselling, you could be doing, say if you do $1 million in sales, and when you're buying and reselling, you might have maybe a 6-figure income or less. But if you do the same number with your own products, and you're making 400, 500,000 a year, which is crazy, right? It's that's why even too, I told you before when we were talking, before we started this, that I'm spending more time growing this business, and it's going to take more time, but because it's just showing so much potential, and there's just so much volume on Amazon. But that's the beauty, right? Is you're launching on a platform as opposed to your own e-commerce store.
So I'm thinking that, like, I know this isn't the case, but I'm thinking that someone watching could think, okay, so Chris is going out there, he's ordering these products from China. Then one day he's waking up and in his front yard there's all these pallets of products there. Your wife's yelling at you, babies are crying, and you're trying to find a place to put all these products. What really happens?
Yeah, so what really happens is, you can do things like where you can pay your supplier to help you work with. You'll use your supplier's account, their UPS or actually their DHL account, and then they'll ship the goods over to the US, and then from there they'll get into the Amazon warehouses. That's what we're doing. We're using FBA, Amazon fulfilled by Amazon, and basically where you're sending the items to Amazon, and then the items are at their warehouse, and so then they handle the fulfillment and sending out. And then also too, they handle a large chunk of the customer support too, specifically around orders. Why is my order not here? Where is it? I need a refund, etc. They handle a lot of that. And so from the customer service standpoint, it's a lot lower. That I've been doing software stuff for a long time, and we have to have a lot of people to help manage that. Whereas here, it's, for me, I'm the only one that does the support for the Amazon business. And I do probably maybe 2 or 3 emails a week. And that's off of doing, close to 30,000 potentially this month in sales. But yeah, so basically they handle that, right? I pay a freight forwarder. That's the term. If you were to Google that, you'd look for a freight forwarding company, and then they handle taking the goods from China over to the US, and they deal with the customs and all that stuff that, quite frankly, again, I said I wanted to do this on the side because I had other businesses that were doing well, and I wanted to do the least amount of effort possible to get something up and selling on Amazon. And so paying a freight forwarder might be a little more expensive than having your supplier handle shipping it over to them. But that's basically it, right? I haven't gone to the post office yet for this business. Any samples I get are just sent to my front door. Mm-hmm. And the only time I've ever received my product is when I buy it occasionally to see if there's qualities changed between batches of orders.
Whenever I think of physical products, I think of the eBay business model where people are buying stuff. It's coming to their house. They're putting it up on eBay. They're going to the post office with a big carload of products and shipping them out and then tracking them and all of that. None of that. You're just It's all on a computer screen for you, where you just kind of track everything. You're the manager of it. You want to make sure everything's running smoothly, and that your supply isn't running out, and that you're able to fulfill all those orders.
Exactly. I mean, that's what it was. I mean, when I was early on selling, I do income reports every month on my blog, and you know that. But my first order, I did 500 units, and I was in Disneyland near the end or the early part of September, and I was selling on Amazon, and I'd get back to my room and I'd see, oh cool, I just paid for my park tickets today, or I was close to paying for my park tickets because we had some days they weren't as big, but it was just kind of crazy. I'd get back and check my stats, and at the time I was starting to run out of stock, and so I was increasing my price just to try and slow down sales. Mm-hmm. And then it didn't work. I ran out of a product, and then so 2 days I was out, and then I had another order, and so pretty much it's just been like that. I just like you said, I do it from the side. And then what I'm really doing this year too is I've been documenting, and even before, every step I take in this business, because eventually, if I wanted to, you don't have to do this, but if I wanted to, I could hand off part of it to someone else and say, okay, you're in charge of this sequence of steps for creating a promotion or creating an advertising campaign or launching a product or getting reviews, etc. And so it's definitely something that you can I look at it as a very operational business, where it's a matter of just, these are these steps you take in the specific order, and then you repeat them. And that's pretty much the process.
With anything with inventory, one of the nice things about selling digital products is you never have to worry with your software, with information training programs. There's mm-hmm. there's no worry that it's going to run out. With this, you do have to invest in inventory and pay. You mentioned 500 units. How mm-hmm. much does it cost to get started doing all this?
Yeah, so you can start with a few hundred units if you wanted to. I originally was going to do 250 units, and it was going to be about $500 or so for unit costs. And then the shipping costs are about the same. Until you start going larger volume, then the shipping will be a little bit lower. And again, but the thing is that that when you're first starting out, your costs are going to be higher for both your unit costs and then also for your shipping costs. Because as you scale, you get less and less. And so what I do is I have an Excel spreadsheet of all the products that I'm selling, and then I have basically it's like a cost of goods sheet, and it shows me at each order of inventory that I did how much profit I'm making at each price point. And I've been able to see that profit increase as I've been going through each order because I'm doing more and more volume. And so yeah, so you can start less. I know people that started with a few $100s or so, but it does, if you have more money, it is an advantage to be able to more quickly get going. But it's still something you can start when you don't have a ton. So,
how many products do you currently have?
I don't share specifically how many products I have. I started with one, and I got to my best month of over 26,000 in sales was all with just one product. So now I have more than one, and my plan is to have a few dozen before the end of the year. But I don't know yet if that will be possible. I'm still kind of working out the planning to do that. Basically, every month my plan is to be getting samples, and then that next month be ordering or having those units being produced. So every month I'm getting like a new product that I'm launching is the plan. But I don't share. I won't be sharing specifically on my blog or anything else exactly how many products, because then you can just like look at sellers and see how many products they have. But and you don't even have to do that, right? I know people that just have one product, and that's the insane part too. Is that I mentioned this before, but with Amazon, you're building on a platform where buyers are already there, right? I think that's why you can build an e-commerce store. Eventually, that's my plan too, is to eventually start doing volume off Amazon. But if you can just go where the buyers are initially, that's what works well. The same with like Kindle, right? Rather than trying to build your own website and rank in Google to try and get book sales, if you can imagine how kind of crazy that is, it's the same thing with e-commerce. If you can just leverage Amazon's platform initially, and then eventually go over to your own, then that's what we're doing. So,
aren't you scared at all when you initially put a product out on the market that you're gonna put all the work in, you're gonna pay for, even if it's $300, $500, whatever, and you're gonna lose that money? How are you able to make sure that you're not just throwing money away?
Yes, that's a good question. I mean, if you look at any product being sold on Amazon that would fit this criteria, something that you can private label, that you can just put your own logo, packaging, etc. on it, make a few changes, you can see that. Sorry, I'm thinking here. Lost my train of thought.
Products.
Yeah.
Like
So yeah. So if you see them selling on Amazon, say they're selling for $20, and your costs are going to be say $2.50 per unit, and then another say $2.50 in shipping. You're in for $5 before the product gets to the U.S. You have Amazon fees that are tied down to that as well. So that brings it up to about $10. Then that's still $10 of margin that you're working with. And if you know that everything else is selling for $20, and even if you had to, you could just inventory dump and get most of your money back, if not all, plus a little bit of profit.
Inventory dump. I've never heard of that. What is that?
That'd be just where you would try and do some marketing to push your product and to just get rid of it, basically. Lower the price to your cost after all the shipping and everything else and the FBA fees. And so that's why I have in my cost sheet. So if there's a product, say for example, I pick one that, because not every product will be a winner the first time. You might have to help push to get it going. But if you had one that you're like, I'm not going to bother with this anymore, I want to focus on less SKUs and get rid of this one, then you would just lower the price considerably. And you can still do that. And as long as you've done that research process and finding a good supplier and get your costs right, then you can do that. You could lower the price and sell it. And then just, you get rid of it, you get your money back, and you're done. And so that's what can be done. I mean, so it's difficult to lose your money unless you make mistakes like creating something that no one wants to buy, which isn't what we're doing here. We're looking at Amazon specifically to find what to sell in the first place. And so it's a matter of, you're serving the market that already exists.
And that brings us to my next question here, which is, I know that you don't share your products, which is smart of you, because people would just go out there and start copying what you're doing. But as far as niches that are proven to sell, stuff that you've seen other people sharing, stuff that you've seen maybe that you've been kind of interested in going into. What niches are the best ones to go into for people just getting started?
Yeah, so it's kind of a question as to whether how much competition you want to have, right? I mean, I have a friend that I met at an event that he did is like 400,000 a month, but he has only one product. But he's in the top 10 in a specific category on Amazon, which when you hear that 400,000 a month, it just sounds insane even saying it. But I mean, again, remember Amazon, millions and millions of Prime members, and then millions and millions more of customers. And if you're in the top 10, that's just insane amount of volume. But so really, I look at I wanted to go with like a lower competition space. So I wanted after a lower range, and we'll talk about that. So, you know, on Amazon, if you go to amazon.com/bestsellers, and actually I could share my screen. I have that up right now if you want me to.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let me do that here. Let's see. There we go. All right. So see this screen here?
Yes.
Yeah, so on Amazon, you've got all these different categories here. If you just go to amazon.com/bestsellers, these are the primary categories that are being sold on Amazon. And so some of the big ones would be like cell phones and accessories, health and personal care. Those are people that are doing supplements typically. And so they're using US suppliers, and that's a huge volume. You've got pet supplies, patio, lawn, and garden. Video games wouldn't be applicable. So computers and cell phones and accessories and electronics, those are higher volume categories, but something like where's it at? Arts, crafts, and sewing is probably going to be a lower volume. I don't know precisely how much the volume is. That's something we're working on solving right now. But I bring up these categories to mention that's what I use. I use the bestseller ranking for a product within that category to help determine. So if I were to go to like, everyone probably knows this game, Cards Against Humanity, but if you go to this one and you come down to the product details, you can see it's Amazon bestsellers rank #1 in toys and games. So this number here is what matters. Now there's a subcategory number that might be different. In this case, it's the same, but it's this primary number that matters because that's what tells you roughly the volume for that category it is. And so that's a process, right? Is looking at the bestseller ranking, and then if you wanted to go higher competition, then you're looking at top 100. If you wanted to go lower competition, then maybe 500 to 2,000 bestseller rank. That's usually what I look for. And so it's kind of hard to find those products outside that rank manually on Amazon. But there's ways you can do it with software and stuff to dig in and find products outside that range.
And that brings us to the product we're going to be talking about today. You've actually, with your partners, come out with a product that helps to find these products and does a lot of other things as well. On the sales page, it says the ultimate software and training toolkit for Amazon affiliates and sellers. So yeah, why don't we tell us a little bit about what this is all about, and I want to see specifically how this is going to work for physical products.
Yeah, so I mentioned a bit here. So if I was to go into, say I was trying to find a product that was selling in patio, lawn, and garden, then I could go down to all these different subcategories to try and find something that might be selling well. I could go down to, say, barbecue grilling, go down into these here. Now, if I were interested in finding something that I could private label, I'd have to look through all these different products and then figure out what their bestseller ranking is, et cetera. You can see with these reviews that there's probably quite a bit of volume going here. But you know, this process would be really manual, right? So we built software that allows you to automate this more easily. So like this is the first tool. There's 4 tools that are included with AmaSuite, and this one's the top 100 analyzer. So this is the tool that I like to say, if you don't know at all what you want to sell, then this is what you'd start with. You know, if you have no idea what niche or anything, because what you can do is you can just select the source, Amazon.com, bestsellers, and then you can do this manual select thing. So what this does is you can look at every single category. You could add a bunch of different categories within an area, and then so let's dive into like this section here. So let's add in this category, and then I can add in another one, and we'll just add in 2 just to show you more quickly. So that'd be done, and then I just click this green go button, and now it's going out and then pulling in all this information from Amazon, all these products that are selling. It's showing you the price, the the rating, the overall rating. So if it's 4.5 stars, that's what that would be here. It's showing you the reviews. It's showing you, additionally too, I'll wait for this to stop, but additionally too, we can also pull in more information as well. And so let me do that, right?
It's kind of cool now, Chris. It's a lot of times people think of Amazon just as the associates program and selling as like an affiliate. Well, when you have your own products on there, other people are going to be sending you traffic, and you're going to be the one that is the seller instead of just the affiliate.
Exactly. Yep. And I mean, that's the thing too, is that we originally built these for affiliates, right? That was what the whole purpose was, because that's what I was doing initially. But then once I started selling on Amazon, I talked to Dave, the developer and business partner for AmaSuite, and I was like, hey, if we could add these features into these tools, they would be massively helpful for sellers. And so you can see I was running this before, but I just click this other button that says get more data, and it pulls in this main rank. So this is the bestseller rank for the patio, lawn, and garden category. So you can know, okay, wow, these are products that are selling really well, and you don't have to guess that much, right? Because you know that if they're in this range, that they're selling well, and so they're potential products, versus not knowing what to sell. And that's the biggest thing, is not knowing what's selling. Then that you're not going to necessarily know what to pick and buy, and it helps you feel less worried about picking something that isn't going to sell, when you can see Amazon tells you that basically by showing the bestseller rank. And so there's other stuff too, like you can see the weight of the item, so you can know if it's something that's lighter weight, which is easier to do for shipping. It might be, if it's a really heavy item like a barbecue grill itself, and that's like a whole nother game, and not really something I'd recommend you creating your own brand of, because there's a lot more costs for doing your own barbecue grill or something. But like a barbecue grill brush, for example, would be something else. And you can also see who ships by Amazon, FBA, or FBM, so fill by merchant. But so you can see all this data. And so let's just say, for example, that a barbecue grill brush is what you wanted to do. Well, and you've done it, you figured it out by using the subcategories. You could additionally pull up the product inspector, which is another tool, and you'd select the category you found that in the patio, lawn, and garden, and you just type in barbecue grill brush. And it's going to go out and find every product that has this phrase in the title of the product or somewhere in the product listing. So it's going to find a bunch more that are selling for you, right? So if you wanted to see, okay, what are some that I might have missed by using the top 100 analyzer, this allows you to dive in more detail, and I don't have to let it run forever. But again, it's the same thing where you can just click another button and it pulls in the bestseller rank, the weight, the reviews, etc. And so it's really helpful for you being able to determine, what's selling, what the reviews are, and if you're an affiliate, what the commission is if you were to sell it. And so you can really quickly determine what's popular within this space.
And that rank over there on the left-hand side, is that the rank inside of the category or on Amazon in general?
Yeah, this is the rank inside of the patio, lawn, and garden category. Okay. So if you recall back, like the most important rank that matters is the one that's on the product details section of any Amazon listing. So if you go to Amazon.com right now and you look at any product, you scroll down to product details, it will show you the bestseller rank. And it will also show you a rank within a subcategory. But the one that matters is the rank in the primary category. And that's the one that's always listed first, typically. And so this 78 to 812, 92, etc., that's what matters there. And then so let's say you decide you're going to go with that type of a product, and what you can additionally do is you can figure out what to use in your listing. So you can put in different types of seed keywords, and then what this is actually doing is it's going out to Amazon. It's pulling in all the keywords that our Amazon search suggests. So anytime you type something in, start to type something in on Amazon, all those keywords that pop up, we're basically able to pull those keywords off as well. So you can see these keywords are searched frequently enough by users that Amazon's suggesting them when they start typing them in on Amazon. So these are, of course, keywords that you'd like to use on your website. And so just a few seed keywords pulled in 736, and then now these are types of keywords that you could use in your product title, your listings, your bullet points, etc., to help with rankings. And additionally, too, you could use them in your Amazon sponsored ads or whatever that you could use too.
So I mean, if you went out there and you decided that you wanted to start selling like a barbecue brush, it essentially becomes a game of of being able to produce a product or have a product, private label right, like get the rights for a product, being able to sell that product and beat out the other ones that are already selling it, like, and have your costs be low enough to do it. I mean, it sounds a little bit complicated. I think you also have a guide inside of here that where you go deeper into it.
That's the thing too, is it's when you're talking about the affiliate program, it's simple. It's like you apply for it, and then when you put a link to it and someone buys, you get a commission, right? Mm-hmm. There's a few more steps that you go through, but it's for selling on Amazon. But then you're kind of building more of like you're building a physical product business, and yeah, I mean we did. There's a course inside the AmaSuite product members area for the affiliate side, because that's something that I've had a lot of experience with. And there's also a course on the seller side. And so I talk about, the strategy for picking your first product, and then also for scaling it up to multiple products along the way as well. So that's something we covered too, and we walk through the steps of that process. But so if you say, for example, you pick that product, then one of the main things of like launching a product is actually getting reviews. Mm-hmm. One of the biggest mistakes I see people do is they launch their product, they have maybe 1 or 2 reviews, and then they wonder why they're not getting any sales. And so there's a section on Amazon. It's called, if you just search Amazon.com top 10,000 reviewers, then what it will do is there's actually a page on Amazon that shows the top 10,000 reviewers on Amazon. The only problem is that you don't know their contact information or whether or not they'd even be interested in your product unless you click through every single individual user's name, right? You have to click through and see how many products, what they're interested in, etc. So we built software that just pulls all that information in, pulls in the top 10,000 reviewers on Amazon. And then additionally, and I'll just stop. I mean, I've been, this would run for a little while to get everybody, but this is a few hundred people. And so again, we were able to do this, pull in all the top reviewers, and then you can also see a lot of these top reviewers leave their email address. And so you can email these people and say, hey, I have this product. I know you're interested in it, because you can see their interests area. Mm-hmm. Would you like to do a review? And you can send them a free version of it. They always disclose, okay, I got this product in for free in exchange for a review. But that doesn't typically hurt you, right? I mean, having a review, if anything, having a review from a top reviewer helps, because it helps us providing more social proof to your listing. So you see a review from a top reviewer and it says top 50 reviewer on Amazon, and they are giving you a 5-star review, and there's a video review of it, etc. That's pretty powerful. So I'll stop the extracting.
So you've actually sent people out products to review of yours.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, not for the first one, but I have for other ones. Because we didn't have the software at the time when I first did it, right? We added it later. I was like, hey, this is a great way to get more, because by that time I already had reviews, but I'm using this for all new ones. But I mean, so what we also do is we can see whether or not they've done a video review in the last 10 reviews. So if you wanted to get a video review from a top 10,000 reviewer, then this is one way to do it. And then this is nice too. It shows you we average the last 10 products that they've reviewed, what their score is. So if you look at like this person, for example, their last 10 reviews for 3.6.
You probably don't want to send it to that person because they're pretty harsh.
You might not want to do it, right? But you look at this one here, number 2 reviewer, last 10 was an average score of 5, and a video was in their last review. That doesn't guarantee, because these are people, of course. They're people that are doing these reviews. And it doesn't guarantee you're going to get a video review from them. But you can see all their interests here. And sorry, I'm sure you probably by now hear my babies crying in the background.
Yes, this is the excitement of doing these things from our homes.
Yeah, well, that's the beauty, right? Is I get to do this from home. Exactly. My Amazon business is already more than double the median U.S. household income, and it's just one of 4 businesses that I run. So, yeah, but so you could see this interest, and say, for example, you want to do something in photography. You had a photography product. So if you have like a new selfie stick or something, then you could type in photography, and then it's going to pull up all the people that are interested in photography. And so these would be like your best people to reach out to, and you got their emails right here.
That's cool. So you can just email them and say, hey, yeah, I've got a new product. Would you mind taking a look at it and possibly doing a review? I mean, and it also goes back, you want to make sure that your product is good, because if you send it to these people, if it's crap, they're not going to give you a good review.
Exactly, and that's what this purpose is, right? We help you with the research process, because normally if you're doing this manually, which is a huge pain if you are, because it's really, literally, you're going to Amazon.com and then you're just searching for products. You're searching all over the place, looking for random stuff that might be selling. You're looking for stuff that's selling that might have bad reviews, or I don't know, whatever. And it's a huge pain. But if you do this just with the software, it helps save a huge amount of time. And then this is another way to help you get going once you're up and selling. And so that's what it does.
Now, I know this. You also have a couple other modules for other aspects of Amazon as well in the suite here.
Yes. Yeah. So we have, pretty much it's step by step going through, this kind of process. It's a couple hours of content, but then additionally too, because we know even just talking about this, people might be thinking, oh, this seems to sound kind of confusing. The friend of mine that turned me onto this business, he did about $1 million in sales in 2014. He got on with me and we did a live Q&A training webinar. We did this back in December, and then we did another one in February, and then we recorded those, and that was so close to about 3 hours or so of video, and then we included that in the members area. And then additionally, after our launch week for version 4 of AmaSuite's done on March 25th, we're going to do another live Q&A. So if you're thinking, I have questions about this, then we basically just get on there and we go through that, and we go through questions people have. So we dive into anything people have about shipping, barcodes, packaging, any questions you might have about this business, we cover. So cool. So okay, yeah. So inside of these softwares, there's the I'm looking at the sales page right now for it. I'm seeing that they've got the analyzer, Azon Top 100 included in there. You've got there's Azon Product Inspector, Azon Product App. It's like, what, 4 softwares in one? Yeah. So should I go ahead and stop share my screen?
Yeah. Go ahead and stop. Okay. That. Come back to us, Chris.
Yeah. So it's 4 products. It's Azon Top 100 Analyzer, which was that first one I showed you. Mm-hmm. That helps you when you don't necessarily know what it is you want to sell. Then we have the product inspector, so you can type in any keyword and it will pull up all the different products that are like that. So say okay, I'd like to sell this product, then you can then look at all the other products that are selling within that using that keyword. So you can see, okay, here's my competition, or this is a good space, or this isn't for whatever reason. And then the keyword generator. So if you needed keywords for your listing, or also for your sponsored ad campaigns, you can do ads on Amazon. I'm not a pay-per-click marketer myself, but Amazon, you literally just put in your budget, you type in what keywords you want, or you can use an auto campaign, and then there's no writing ad copy because it's just Amazon listings, right? Okay. They just display on the product page. So, I spend less than $10 a day on that, but you can do that because it can help with your search ranking if you have some ad campaign going. But that's pretty much it, right? The keyword tool, and then additionally the Azon review finder. And so that helps you find top Amazon reviewers that then you can reach out to help get those initial reviews for your product, which are really crucial when you're doing the product launch process to get some sales going and stuff.
What interested me mostly about this is you've got the software, and it's not just software by itself. It's actual training with it as well that you've included from someone that is actually doing this. You've got training on, I believe you've got training on traditional Amazon affiliate stuff, and you've got the training on being a physical product seller on there, mm-hmm. which are both things that you've done. So you're both the software guy and someone who's really doing it.
Yes, yeah, exactly. It's really easy for me to answer any questions people have, because they're questions that I've heard from people through emails or whatever, and it's there's the same questions every time, and it's a matter of just answering those and through the videos we've done or through the Q&A webinars we've recorded and stuff. So yeah, it's a lot of fun though, and really, we were talking about this before we started, but this is a side business for me still, but if it's on this trajectory that I think it is, and I can push it up further, then it very well could become the primary business, almost by mistake, because I said before, I just started this on the side with the least amount of effort possible. Like, I literally was just learning what I needed to learn about the next step after I got it, right? So I didn't even know some of these steps to do. Like, for example, you can put a label on your product, but I was like, I'm not going to bother with that. I just had the product shipped from China to the US, and then I paid the labeling fee that Amazon charges because I didn't want to think about anything extra. And then I just, of course, had my supplier do that in the future. I had them put the labels on, so it saved that fee. But if you look at that from that standpoint of just, I want to get something onto Amazon, what are the steps I need to take, and how quickly can I do it without having to hem and haw and get sidetracked and think about, well, what about this, what about that? I cut that out, right? You just get it up and get selling, and then go from there and improve and then iterate and get better as you go. And that's
cool
what I've been doing.
Your first product did well. I mean, that's
yeah.
I don't know if that's luck, or if you're just a really smart guy, or if you did a lot of research, or if it's just a little of all of it.
I think it's probably a little of all of it. I mean, I think that even if that didn't work, I met a lot of people that are selling on Amazon, and when they tell me their background, like, I was a truck driver for 25 years, and I tried all these different things like Amway, and I'm like, oh no, I'm just kind of shaking my head, and then it's like, I'm doing this though, and now I'm selling 30,000 a month, and I'm like, this is crazy, because I'm looking at my experience and I'm thinking I should be able to do this too. And even if you aren't, though, but that's what, I look at those examples of people that are doing this, and it tells me that, okay, this is definitely a place to go. And I think that in the future, it will be more difficult for new sellers. I think that if you're waiting, I definitely think it's going to get more difficult later. And so I think that it's a matter too of where, with any marketplace, anything, you always get, as an incumbent, you're always favored as you move forward in a business. If you look at different types of marketplaces, that's what usually happens. And so that's why I'm just kind of aggressively growing, and why I'm telling people to get on this and get going. So
cool. And I know there are 3 different options for people when they're deciding to pick up the software, and it comes with all the extra, the training with it. Tell us a little bit about the options that people have and the pricing for the launch.
Yeah, so it's 2 different options, and this is a version 4 of the software, and so we've been improving it and iterating and adding new features since 2012 when we first released it. And so the pricing is set 3 different prices. First one's $37, and that's $37 per quarter. It's not indefinitely; it ends. You can see after you go to the checkout page, it will show how many payments it is. Then there's a $97 yearly one, and then you can, again, it's not indefinite. You can see when that ends, and then there's a lifetime one for $197. And so typically what we see is people that have lower budget, they buy the 37 option, and then people that are thinking about the yearly, they end up just buying the lifetime because it's only an extra $100. And
they don't want to pay more than once, most people. So, but if you don't want to, if you don't have that money, you can do the $37 one and
you get
test
everything
it out,
right?
and see it and see how it works. And
yeah, I mean, we have people that they'll buy the $37 one, and then they'll do all their research, potentially pick their first product, and then they'll cancel, right? Or they'll keep going because they want to use the tools. They want to continue using the tools. But yeah, you can do it either way. And obviously you get access to everything. You get all the videos, all the bonuses, etc., from any price point that you pick.
Cool. And one-time offers, what should people expect?
Yeah, so we have a few. The first one is another software program we built. And it's basically off of this article I read from Fast Company. It's called Amazon Whisperer. So if you Google Amazon Whisperer Fast Company, you should find it. And it was this guy and his company that were doing 9 figures annually is what they said in sales. And they talked about this what's the word? This reporter was talking about hunting this person down and trying to get him to do this interview. And I'm saying, thank you for doing this interview, because I used your interview to come up with the software idea. But basically they had teams of people that would look at Amazon reviews, look at something that's selling well and that has low reviews. And say, for example, people would be complaining there's not a rechargeable version. Well, they'd go out and make a rechargeable version. And so it's basically like a review intelligence software program. It's $47, and then what it does is you can look through different types of products, and it will scan all the reviews and then figure out why, for example, the product is liked, loved, hated, etc. And then you can see, you can dive into each of those reviews and figure out what it is they hate about it. So you could do like a search within the program for hate, and then you can see why people hate it. And so you can very quickly see why something might be selling, but people hate it, because then you could then go out and say, okay, this is something that I'm going to change about the product when I release it. So that's the first one. You can also
find out from similar products, you can go and if someone says they love something about it, when you're doing your listing for it, and let's say your product is the same thing, and you can figure out why people why they really are enjoying this type of product, you can emphasize the things that they really want in the product and make maybe
Exactly.
the headline of your listing more attractive. Maybe you didn't even think of the fact that people want, if we go back to the barbecue brush, maybe they want extra thick bristles or something, like extra
Yeah.
thick bristle barbecue brush. And that's what people are looking for, that's what people want. And you can
Yep.
really put that in there and get more attention from it. So
Yep. Yeah, that's exactly it.
cool.
And then there's another tool it's $67 and and these are all one time. There's no payment type plan to them, and that's an option for it's called Interest Architect. So
Okay.
Dave has done a lot of Facebook marketing. He's made a few $100,000 with Teespring T-shirts and stuff like that. But he built this software specifically because when you go into Facebook and you want to do an ad campaign for something. And one of the ways that you can kind of grow your Amazon business is to drive traffic from places outside of just, Amazon, right? So if you're using Facebook would be one example. And if you're doing an ad, then you can pull up interests when you're creating your ad campaign. And if you typed in barbecue, for example, not every single barbecue related interest or keyword is going to pop up in that. Facebook doesn't have all of them displaying for whatever reason. I don't know why. But so this tool basically helps you go out and then find a whole lot more interests, and then you can put those into your ad campaign. So you can find kind of smaller areas that there are still people that might be great target customers, but that aren't up in being actively used. So your ad costs would be lower, and so it kind of goes through that.
Cool.
And
Okay.
and then he has some training on there, and then the final one is just a collection of 5 WordPress software programs that are all Amazon related. So if you create your own brand website, then you could set up using the themes that we've created, or you can also use the plugins to help you get commission. So even if you're a seller, you can double dip. You can make a commission on the same product you're selling. So that's kind of cool.
Cool.
Or if you're just an affiliate, then you can make money from that too.
Cool, man. I mean, I'm seeing so many different angles on this, whether people want to use this as an Amazon affiliate, if that's something that they're doing, if they want to be a seller of physical products, they can use it for that. Just be a smarter seller on Amazon. And there's that gold rush going on right now with the physical products. It can be a little bit scary in the fact that it's a newer thing. It's a newer kind of niche that we're getting into now. But like you said before, it's the people that get in there early are going to be the ones that make the most money out of it. I'm even interested now in taking a look. Being that I'm in Europe right now, that won't even affect this. Like, it doesn't matter where I am.
Yeah, you can do it from pretty much any country because you're shipping it to wherever, and that also gives you an idea what to do next. I'll expand to Amazon.co.uk eventually too, and it doesn't matter that I don't live in the UK because you can use a freight forwarding company that knows the laws and all that. I'll just need to get registered with VAT tax and all that stuff, but that's something I'll worry about later. Eventually when we're ready to grow into that space. So yeah, it's quite frankly, if I didn't have the software already here, I would rather just I would have just told Dave hey, can I just use these features? Like this review finder tool.
Sure.
We've already had a lot of customer feedback because we did an early access for people, same pricing, but early access for people just to try and get some feedback on stuff we could add, and now we're releasing that based on that feedback and stuff. So
Cool.
Yeah,
Chris,
it's a lot of fun though.
Thank you so much for coming on the show today. Is there anything else, anything we missed, anything you wanted to mention before we wrap it up?
No, I think that's it. I mean, with anything I sell, there's always a refund period, so it's a 30-day money-back guarantee. So it's pretty much check it out, and you'll see what everyone else is seeing, that it's pretty solid and good training, good software. Can help you out, and obviously the goal is to help you save time and also educate you on this process. So yeah, appreciate the interview.
Best of luck with your launch.
Yeah, thank you.
I hope you enjoyed the interview today with Chris. If you are interested in picking up AmaSuite 4.0, come back tomorrow. The cart's going to be going live at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. You're going to be able to grab the software and get the training along with it with my special bonuses. And also, when you're done with this interview, take a look below. You're going to find a video where Chris is going to show you inside of his accounts. Plus, there's a more detailed demo on the software. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all tomorrow.